Hello, What Culture? It's me, Simon Miller, and first and foremost, I want to thank you for joining me today because what an ups and down journey we've had this week. We did NXT, we did Survivor Series, we did Raw, and now we're rounding everything off with SmackDown. So yeah, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you joining me for this wild ride. Of course, the big thing with WWE's recent show was how much did Survivor Series affect that? What's the fallout going to be? What's going to happen to Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan? Well, you're about to find out courtesy of me. You don't even have to watch the show if you don't want. Let's up some downs. SmackDown did start exactly how you would expect, in the sense that Shane McMahon came out and basically pretended like he didn't care what happened at Survivor Series. He even said, even despite all of that, I still think that SmackDown is THE show instead of, B show, which is what Stephanie McMahon said on Raw. This was ridiculous because once again, you just sit there and going, am I meant to care about wins or losses or not? Because you don't seem to, so why should I? That gets a down. Thankfully, we did move past all that gibberish really quickly, because why would we want any important fallout given all the week's build that we had? Of course, we just want to fly by it like a car speeding down the motorway, but it's okay, because then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn came out, and that's ginging up. They did their usual stick about being the best of the best. They could have beaten anybody on Raw, and if they had been on Team SmackDown would have won, and then Shane McMahon got all mad, and he fired them. Well, he almost did anyway, but just as he was about to, Daniel Bryan came out and said, no, I've got a better plan. I'm going to put you, Kevin Owens, and I'm going to put you, Sami Zayn, in a Lumberjack match against the New Day, because everyone in the back, they want their revenge. Now, all of this was cool because this big tease did keep continuing between Bryan and McMahon, and you just know eventually one of them is going to go bad. And for reasons we'll get to later, if it is Daniel Bryan, well, that's not going to work, and everyone's going to cheer him, and it's just going to make him even more cool than he already is. It would be awesome to see, and this is a long-term storyline. I love long-booked storylines. They make me happy, they make me excited, they make me want to grab my fist together like that and go punch through walls. Don't punch through walls. We also found out here that Randy Orton was sent home because he was so mad about what Owens and Zayn did. That was weird. That did round off the opening to SmackDown, which meant we transitioned how we also transitioned into just a random match that comes from nowhere. And this week, it was Shelton Benjamin versus Jey Uso, but it's getting it up. Kind of the same what happens with Raw in the sense that when you do get a tag team but they compete in a singles match, you make sure you have all other members of the team get involved, and that's what happened here. And after all that schmozzling, not a word, just made that up, Shelton Benjamin did win after he hit a reverse STO. It was a good match, it was fine, that's why it gets an up, and it does progress this feud, which will eventually end in a tag team title match, and who knows who wins that? I guess the Usos, but we'll find out. And then it was another up because we continued with all this Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn stuff as we transferred backstage, and they were walking around looking for allies, failing. Even people like Baron Corbin said he just wanted to punch them in the face, as did Bobby Roode. And you just know, again, that all this is going somewhere because they're building. They're building. They're like, oh, everybody hates Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And what do you do when that happens? You come back fighting with your fists and you punch through walls. Don't punch through walls. Which brings us to another one of those moments where I do break the up and down system. But what happened with the women next, well, it kind of excited me and it baffled me. So we're going to give it both an up and a down, but we're starting with an up. Naomi was getting her makeup done and then bam! Who appeared from NXT? That's right, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. They kicked her ass, and then Becky Lynch turned up, or Becky Lunch as my autocorrect always says, and they kicked her ass too, because screw those guys. This was an up because it was done very well, and again, more call-ups from NXT are always fun, but it's a down, so make sure you tick that down box, because it's exactly the same as what happened on Raw. This will be fine if it turns out to be connected somehow and Paige is in control of all of this, although that would make no sense. But at the moment, we don't know that, so it just seemed like WWE ran out of ideas and went, should we just do the same thing on SmackDown? Yeah, that will do. What are you doing? Now, there was more good things in the sense that later on we did have a title match between Charlotte and Natalya, and these three got involved again and the crowd loved it, and they really did whoop some ass, so they all looked strong out of the gates. And thankfully, the commentators did mention that this was a similar situation to 24 hours prior, so I'm keeping everything crossed this ties in to a bigger plot, and that will be fine. However, I don't have that context yet. I don't have the power of hindsight, so in terms of just watching this episode of SmackDown, I was a bit like, honestly, WWE, honestly. And then finally, the Bludgeon Brothers debuted, and I'll tell you this, it was awesome. What was that? like a fish. Now this gimmick is absolutely ridiculous, but that's why it's so good. And Luke Harper is my man, he's my boy. I love him. And Eric Rowan is really good too, and also their entrance is actually quite badass. They hit the double choke slam on the Hype Bros in less than 2 minutes to take the win, and all of this was an up. Well, almost all of it, because aren't you glad that Mojo Rawley won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania? Because hasn't that just taken him on a trajectory of wonderfulness? Trajectory is not a word. I think I've just pushed 2 words together there. Let's move on quickly. And it's another up too, which I realise is going to make you roll your eyes and go, honestly, Simon, stop giving ups. But then we had more teasing between Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, and I love it. I love it. It's awesome. Up. It started with Shane McMahon telling Daniel that he was going to leave halfway through the show, so you're really good at your job, Shane McMahon, and that Daniel's plan was really good because after Owens and Zayn have their ass whipped in the Lumberjack match, Bryan can fire them. Daniel just stood there, silent. Then it was time to find out what the plan was with AJ Styles, and yes, he's going back into a feud with Jinder Mahal. Down. The best thing about all of this is that AJ Styles came across like the best babyface ever. He cut a really good promo, the crowd was behind him, and better than that, he did hint that later on maybe he will have a rematch with Brock Lesnar, and I'll take that. That Survivor Series match was awesome. I'd give it 5 stars. And the only reason I'm giving it 5 stars is because when you give 5 stars to something, everyone goes nuts and starts arguing. So go do that. It was downhill from there though, because then we got the exact same thing we've seen for the last 6 months. Jinder Mahal came on the Titantron, he ran down AJ Styles, and then the Singh brothers attacked Styles from behind, and I'm like, it's August all over again. AJ fought them off, he is going to have a handicap match with them against next week, but the takeaway from this is we've gone from Styles Lesnar to Styles Mahal. That's nothing against Mahal. I like Mahal, but it's just not the same. And it was more beautiful moments following this, featuring Owens and Zayn as they found Aiden English and Rusev, and they proposed to them, hey, you want to join our little posse? The reason this was fabulous though, is because when they arrived, Aiden English was singing another song about Rusev Day. Up. The difference here though, of course, is that English and Rusev actually considered their proposal, because they have been screwed by Shane McMahon a lot. Either way though, Rusev, you're like my hero, and I want to marry you. And I mean that seriously, I want to marry you because you're so damn entertaining, you make my life complete. How do you do that heart thing? Is that it? Is that like a heart? Not really. Looks a bit like a liver. What are you going to do? And then we got to the main event, which did kind of culminate all these little seeds that have been planted throughout the night. And of course, it's going to get an up. And I realise I've given way 2 ups today, but I'm just in a great mood. I'm in a great mood and I love wrestling. All the Lumberjack stuff was your usual affair in the sense that when the New Day got thrown out of the ring, nobody would touch them. But when Owens or Zayn got chucked out, everyone beat the crap out of them. And it certainly looked like this is how it was going to continue until Baron Corbin accidentally clocked Bobby Roode. All the Lumberjacks started fighting and they eventually went to the back. And I guess that means our next feud is Baron Corbin versus Bobby Roode. I'm excited. The real interesting part with all of this though is that Aiden English and Rusev did help out Owens and Sami Zayn. Now they didn't get very far, but that's not the point. They made their allegiances known. That then eventually led to Zayn getting his ass whipped and Owens running away, where he did bump into Daniel Bryan backstage and he got down on his knees and he pleaded, Daniel Bryan, please, 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 do not fire me. Instead, Bryan did say, well, I'm not going to do that, but I am going to put you in a match with Randy Orton next week. Again, Owens was like, no, I don't want to fight Randy Orton. Then Daniel Bryan hinted, trust me, Kev, this is something you don't want to get out of. And Kev was all like, and I was all like, hey, like I'm the Fonz or something. Who does that? Who does that in 2017? Hey, like I'm the Fonz. You don't know what that is. He was from Happy Days. Anyway, this does kind of seem like we're going to get some kind of faction. Maybe I'm just wishful thinking here, but maybe between Daniel Bryan, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Aiden English, Rusev, and these NXT women that got called up, because Bryan kind of hinted at that too. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I mean, that is not going to work. No one's going to boo that. Everyone's going to go crazy, but it would make my soul breathe fire. And as we know, when your soul breathes fire, you're living the dream. So I actually thought this was a really decent episode of SmackDown. When I opened my little Twitter app on my phone, everyone's going, oh, it's rubbish, I hate it, didn't like it. So I was kind of like, oh, that's a shame. Then I watched it, I was like, no, this is great. Maybe I've gone crazy, I don't know, but I thought loads was put in place here, aside from AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal, and that Clash of the Champions, which is the pay-per-view in December, may actually be fantastic. But what do I know? The answer is nothing, so make sure you leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's SmackDown. Like, share and subscribe. Head on over to WhatCulture.com and read some articles about SmackDown and loads of other stuff. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you again for joining me for this massive run of ups and downs. I've loved it, and you will of course see me again soon.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to subscribe below, and if you're looking for more content like this, then try a few things that are floating about around my ears. It might be fun. I can't promise it though, but it might be.